So the Pew Research Center reported earlier this month that a majority of Americans now support the legalization of marijuana. The number's at 52%. What's your opinion on the legalization of marijuana? Do you support its legalization?
I do and I don't. I think that the only reason why it probably is being legalized is that it's all about profit. Weed was put on a pedestal where it was the same drug as, is the same, had the same bad connotations like coke or methamphetamine and all these other drugs, but it really doesn't. And I think it wasn't accepted because the government is all about profit. And now it is being legalized because they realize they can tax it and make profit off of it.
With the Colorado and Washington kind of legalizing the recreational use, it doesn't seem so far-fetched to why people are more inclined to feel like, okay, maybe we can legalize marijuana.
So are you in favor of legalization?
Just because I haven't done so much research about what it can and what it can't do, I'm going to hold off on that. I don't support it, nor am I against it. So,
I do support the legalization of marijuana. I just think that it's going to benefit, the country or the states that want to legalize it economically. I don't smoke myself, but I see friends that smoke it, and I do also know some people that work at some clinics, and they tell me that with the legalization of marijuana, not only can they tax the marijuana, but they can also create more jobs for people, and that's just going to help the economy no matter what.
I am happy that the number has gone up as far as people who agree with the legalization of marijuana, but I'm kind of sad in a sense and kind of happy. I'm kind of 50-50 in the sense that it's always been said that if marijuana was legalized, that there would be a tax on it if it was completely legalized, and I don't think that we necessarily want to tax it, but I think it would be a great idea because it would create more income for the United States of America. Also, the issue with marijuana has always been that the tier of drugs that it was on. There's always a tier. There's like a 4 or 3 level tier when you look at the national government and how we grade our drugs, and marijuana was always compared to like cocaine, and obviously marijuana is not on the same level as cocaine, but the fear was that there was no way to tax it, so that's why it was put on that tier. So again, like I said, I'm happy that it's becoming more of a progressive idea, people liking the idea of it being legalized, but then again, it makes me worried of what the repercussions are for people kind of having this main idea of yes, it should be legalized.
I think that's astounding because numbers before would have been much lower than they are right now. So I'm all in favor for the medical marijuana after seeing a lot of progress being made with how it's being advertised to people. So yeah.
So you were saying about medical. How do you feel about the legalization for recreational use, similar to Washington and Colorado?
Recreational use, it wouldn't be as bad because it's just as cigarettes. It could be a hobby for people, so let people choose as they please.
So do you think that smoking marijuana is something that's a moral issue, and is it morally good or bad, or not a moral issue at all?
I don't think it's a moral issue at all. I believe that it's a personal preference for everybody, just like anything else, and yeah, I think that's what it is.
I think it is a choice every day that people make. I mean, the government or just the media put this bad connotation on weed, like I said, and people, I feel like paranoia comes with it because of how it's presented in society, but it really is on how you feel about it. Like, you can have an open mind about it, and you can have a closed mind about it.
All right.
I think it's individual, but I don't think it's based on morals, because there's some people that need the actual medicine, cannabinoids. So I guess just how you use it, because before marijuana was criminalized, there was a big industry of hemp and a big industry that medical research is marijuana is used for. So I guess it's individually people decide if they want to do it or not. I wouldn't say it's based on their morals or anything, though.
No, I mean, it's just like anything that people drink alcohol, they smoke cigarettes. It's just, I would say, kind of a vice, but
So does that mean you don't really compare marijuana to other drugs like, let's say, cocaine or more hardcore things like that?
I would say no, just because there hasn't been that many scientific studies to prove it affecting people as bad as those drugs. If anything, it's more beneficial to the health of people. So I would say it's a good drug, but.
I feel like people are making it a moral issue, but living in California, it's obviously an everyday thing. It's legal here. It's been legal here for a while. I have plenty of friends, family members that smoke weed and eat weed brownies and do all that stuff like that. I have myself, and I don't think it's necessarily moral, for sure. I think that it's more of just an everyday thing. It's an everyday part of life. But like I said, we still live in kind of a society that's very conservative. For what reason, I have no clue, when the Americans are doing a lot more things than a lot of other people are doing. But we like to put ourselves on a higher pedestal and say that we're more conservative. So I think people are making it a moral situation, but with the studies being 52%, I think it's definitely showing that people are kind of turning around and seeing that it is something that is an everyday life. If you choose to do it, great. If you don't want to do it, great. It's not necessarily going to make you jump off a building. It's not going to make you, do crazy things such as like MDMA or cocaine or any of those hardcore drugs.
Do you think it'll be legalized nationally anytime soon? And if so, how many years?
Nationally, I don't know. It could be as near as the next 4 years, but I doubt it. I think it's going to be more state-based. I think more states are going to legalize it as far as recreational use, like Washington and Colorado, because of the taxing and because of the profits that they get off of it, especially California.
How many years until California legalizes it?
That could be soon. I know there's always ballots every year about legalizing marijuana, but with you saying that the majority of people are accepting to this, in the past they were accepting to it too, but I think when it comes to voting time, everybody is kind of like they vote in groups. So, for instance, if they're campaigning that legalization of marijuana is not good, more people are going to be inclined to do it. When they do those ads, I think it's the most important fact on if people are going to vote for it or not.
Oh man, I mean, I would say probably a good 10 years, if not, probably more. But I don't see it happening soon, in every state at least. But I think the majority of them will start going for it.
Definitely. We already see it, in Colorado. So, yeah.
Any year? How many years? 10, 20 years?
I would say 10 to 15 years, maybe more than half of the states will legalize it.
Nation, I think it's going to be 20 years, around there. 20 years, 30 years. Not the next decade, but progress will be made throughout the different states of the U.S.
And how soon until California legalizes it?
California, I believe the next decade, definitely.
You don't see it next year, the year after, the next time that the comes up?
I think it's a very high possibility, but within this decade that we're in already.